Hello everyone, it's Kari again today with a new Miss Ink Stamps project. Today I'm going to be using the Latte Lace stencil. This is one of my favorite stencils, and this is the time of year I like to go and revisit some of my favorites and use them again on a project. This here is the Bear Hugs stamp set. You know it's one of my favorites, and I thought I would pair it also with this one here, which is called Mountainside. It's such a beautiful little scene that we can build. And so let's go ahead and get started by stamping out that mountainside tree with the mountains. I think this is so beautiful. In this little set, there are also some other scene building elements like stars, there's a moon, and some other little things. So even though it's such a small set, you can really build a great scene with it. I'm using my favorite Eclipse black ink with my Misty in order to get a really nice dark impression on this. And now I'm going to take a couple of those sleeping bears and stamp those right on to the scene. So I'm not doing any masking here. I'm not doing anything that is too difficult, just kind of spreading them apart enough so that I don't have to do any masking. Sometimes when I want a beautiful card with not too much fuss, I like to do this. So look how easy that was. We've got a couple sleeping bears. And now I'm going to go ahead and tape on that Latte Lace stencil so that I can do some ink blending in the background. And this is going to create kind of a fun design in our night sky. Well, it's not very dark. I decided to do some lighter colors, starting with Fresh Prince ink, which is kind of like a lime green. And then I'm going in with some blue raspberry, which is probably one of my favorite ink colors. In the blues family, I love that turquoise. I'm also going in with some Vegas strip, which is a darker blue. And I'm going to remove the stencil and actually ink around the whole entire outside with that Vegas strip to give it some darker color. I'll remove all that tape so I can ink blend a little bit easier and see what I'm doing, just adding some more around the edges and ink blending over the designs in the center as well, so I don't have such a stark white contrast. I didn't re-ink these brushes. I'm just using the ink that's already on them. And then I'm going to bring in a little bit of purple for the outside as well, and that's going to really deepen up these colors. So there's our beautiful night, and to color the trees, I'm bringing in some blue greens. So I thought these would be really fun as like a blue spruce tree. So I'm starting with the BG09 and then going in with that BG18. I just like to add the darkest colors right underneath each of those sections, blend it out with the lighter color, and then I'm going to bring in an even lighter color than these to add that third color. So I'm just going to do this rather quickly, and I'm not going to color the trees exactly the same because I want a little bit of variation there. So here's the last color. It's the BG57. No, I didn't like that one. So I'm bringing in an even lighter one with the BG45. And that's what I'm going to blend them out and color the rest of the branches with. So we've got some good contrast on this tree. I like the blue colors for a tree. The blue greens are really pretty. For pine trees anyway, I think. So I'll finish coloring this one up, and then to start on the next one, I'm going to actually bring in a little more green. That way we're going to get a contrast in colors. I will color those background trees that are so small with that lightest color, and then just bring in the darkest color to add a little bit of contrast. But that's all I'm really doing for those background trees. You can see that this is a pretty easy scene to color. So here's the G09. That's the color I'm going to start with for the second tree. It brings in more of the green, and then I'll blend those out with the rest of the two colors that I used on the first tree. And for these bears, some neutral grays really make them look like little black bears sleeping. And this is super easy. I'm also bringing in R81 for the paws and the ears. But you can see I'm just going to blend through with the N7, then the N5, and then I'll bring in the N3 for some really easy coloring on these little black bears. Just like that. And this is really easy, quick coloring. So even if you're not familiar with Copics or you don't color a lot, these are super simple images to color up. And I'm going to color the second bear the same way, but I'm not going to leave all of the coloring in the video. A little dark and 7 for his nose. So there's the second bear. And now for the log, I'm just bringing in some E57 and E55. So simple coloring on that log as well. I also colored the tree trunks on those trees on the left with the same colors, just to kind of balance out this picture scene. I just love those little bears asleep. Very, very cute. For the snow, I'm bringing in some B00 and then some lighter blues to even blend that out. I'm not being very careful at all, but I just wanted some color, a little bit of color to the ground. And then we're going to add some glitter, of course. I have to add a little bit of sparkliness to all my holiday cards, whether it be foil, glitter, anything really sparkly, shiny, sequins, gems. You choose. So here we go, just adding those colors very simply and lightening them up as I go along. And there is our snowy banks and our mountains. All right, now I have the sparkle stencil, and I'm just going to lay that over the top and add some white embossing gel paste, embossing paste here. This can be anything that you have. This is very subtle for the background actually, so you could do some glitter paste if you wanted to do that. You could also add some glitter to this, or you could do a silver paste. That'd be really pretty as well. So see how subtle that is? You can see it a lot easier on the dark parts of the panel, but this is going to dry back even a little bit more, so it's really beautiful. And for the snow, I had to add that iridescent glitter. So I have some chunky glitter here, and I'm just taking some glue, liquid adhesive, whatever you've got, adding some lines where the snowbakes start, and then adding that glitter right over the top. So we've got glittery snow, beautiful stars in the sky, and I'm also going to add that glitter to the mountain tops. And that's going to add some glittery snow back there as well. So see there, just adding a little bit of that liquid adhesive. And then I'm going to set this aside to dry fully before we finish this card. See that? See the sparkly snow? So pretty. All right, so I set that aside to dry for a bit. Now that it's dry, I can go ahead and add this to my card base. So I'm just going to glue this down, and then we just need a sentiment. Now I love a little bit of foil to my sentiments, and I want to do a silver foil, but if you don't have a hot foil machine, I have recently found these foiled sentiments that are already done for you, and they are awesome. And so that's what I'm going to add to this one here. And it says warm winter wishes. I used a little bit of foam tape to add that on. And there is our card. I hope you enjoyed this building the scene with me today. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll be back with more inspiration soon. See you then. Bye-bye.